Hey yo, you're tuning in to another episode for season number 2 of the Make Mondays Interesting podcast. I am your host, Denzel Gaga. This is a God-given talent production, and as always, we are brought to you by my family's business, Familiar Accountants. Financial solutions for you and your family. Now, on today's episode, as you probably can tell, and just hearing my voice, it is just me. The visual people can obviously see that if you're watching the YouTube video. But yeah, it is just me. And I really wanted to start today's episode with an announcement. It's kind of like a company news or God-given talent announcement, you could say. It's an important one, and I'm going to spend this entire episode explaining the reason why for this announcement and going into detail the why. And yeah, I can best explain that if you're a business owner or someone with a dream listening to this is not whole podcast. It's not just about my announcement. It's probably so much what I've learned in my journey, which has pushed me into making this announcement. So it's all going to tie in, and please stick to the end to find out what the heck I'm talking about. But yeah, the announcement is this is the second last episode of season 2. But also the second last episode for the series, Make Mondays Interesting. But everyone's probably like, what the heck's going on? It's not the end of my podcast career. So that's very important to note. So next week's episode will be the series finale for Make Mondays Interesting before I take all of April off to plan and reset for the launch of a new rebranded Make Mondays Interesting in May. So the details of the rebrand I'll share with you are the following. So I'm not going to share with you everything, but these are the details I'm willing to share with you right now. So the podcast will no longer be called Make Mondays Interesting. It's such a cool name. I just want to say that it just flows, Make Mondays Interesting, but I'll explain more reasons why the change from the name. So maybe Make Mondays Interesting may revive itself in a future project. Who knows? Stay tuned for that. So yeah, no longer will be called Make Mondays Interesting. Episodes will no longer will episodes be posted weekly on Mondays, which is why I can't keep the name Make Mondays Interesting. So yeah, the current idea is for new episodes to premiere every fortnight, and they most likely will be posted on Tuesdays. So the reason for that, it's to give myself better time to plan and book premiere guests, because I want to have the best guests on this show every single time. There's been difficulties trying to get some guests. When you get those last minute cancels, then you got to figure out what's the last minute podcast idea. So the 2-week gap definitely helps. But also the 2-week gap saves myself from getting burnt out. And that's something I've talked a lot about in the podcast, as well as in my vlogs over in my Denzel Gaga YouTube channel. It's something that I don't want to see happen in my life. And I know what the risks are when you do get burnt out. So that's second detail. Third detail is that the format will continue to be and strictly be interview style. So I love doing interviews with guests. Not too much of a fan when it is just me. Hopefully you still engage when it is just me, but I always want to have a guest, and I want you to hear their story. So the best example I can give, yes, I've had a few guests, but episode 6 of this season, which featured Josiah Hine, I was actually testing out a new interview format, subtly that you probably didn't pick up on. So I'm tested out that format, and I found that it worked, and I'm going to keep that format into this new rebranded podcast. So yeah. And look, my fourth detail is that I do have a name for it, but I'm not ready to share it with you. So stay tuned for that, and a whole lot of changes will come to this podcast. On that, I do want to say that I did tease a lot of these changes in episode 100 of my vlog series, Welcome to Denzel's World. And so really the topic for today, and it's really relevant to the announcement I just made, is an extended version of that episode. And the topic of that episode was ideas evolve. And I really just want to play a quick clip from it. This brings me to reason number 1 why ideas evolve: trial and error. If a project doesn't evoke a certain feeling that you thought it would, all goods. It just means that style is not the one and it's time to try something new. Episodes 98, 100, and 101 of Welcome to Denzel's World are 3 great watches to understand my creative journey from what I'm calling the origin story to the challenges and triumphs, that's like part 2, and then to this new season of my life, which is 2021 and beyond. So 3 episodes covering in a way 3 stages of my life so far, because there's many more stages to come. And so it's really good watches to understand myself, understand the God-given talent brand. And the thing is, what I've learnt from the past 4 years, and that's 4 years since I started or began God-given talent, is that you can quote unquote it, because obviously people have to listen to this as well, whatever it is won't turn out the way you first imagined it to be. So a little bit of a context in my example. I originally saw God-given talent being a fashion brand back in 2017 when I started. But since then, the idea has evolved where I now see it being so much more than that. Hence 2021 and beyond, which I'm super excited for. So the best way I can describe 2021 and beyond without giving too much away is that God-given talent is a production company. Production can mean anything. We can produce anything from media to fashion. The possibilities are endless. But everything we do, story will be the priority. So yeah, whatever we choose to produce, story will be the priority. Everything will begin to make a whole heap more sense as the year goes on, as we go further and further into 2021, and when we officially launch all these new endeavors that I'm teasing you with right now. So yeah, those in our audience who are clients of Familiar Accountants, welcome. So my mum, Michelle Gaga, or can be known on the internet as Christian Mum, isn't the only one who's entrepreneurial minded in the family. I've got just as many good business ideas as she does. I may not have the same experience as she does. I'm clearly not as old. Love you, Mum. But I do have 4 years of experience in falling flat on my face in business. But at the same time, continuing in perseverance with pursuing the same business dream I had when I first started. And the smart thing to do, and this is something that the world promotes, the smart thing to do, according to the world, would be to give up if you haven't reached success, whatever success is, in years 1 or even 2. So yeah, in response to that kind of statement, what even is success? And my answer would be, well, success is something that you define, not the world. I did a video on what is success, and it's a good question to ask. What is success? Well, it's actually, I believe that you can make that definition. And let's just say this. Let's just give 2 examples. If success for you is simply to make money, then go ahead. Jump from business idea to business idea every so often in search of that. But if your definition of success is simply doing what you love or pursuing your passions on a full-time basis, in my situation, it's doing things like this, making the podcast or doing episodes of Welcome to Denzel's World and doing vlogs, doing fashion. Do that to me, that's doing what I love full-time. That's my version of success. So if that's your version of success or your definition of success also, I'd say then never give up. At the same time, be willing to adapt your business model as you learn from your mistakes, but never give up on the overall dream. If you've been in business for a while, you would have heard multiple times the story of Thomas Edison, and that it wasn't until his 1000th and first time. I was trying to get the language correct of that word. 1001st time or try that he got the light bulb to work. And when you hear that story, I can clearly understand that his dream wasn't to make money, but his dream was actually to light up the world. Now, I don't know him personally, so I don't know how true that is, but that's how I've interpret why he kept going, why he never gave up on the idea of the light bulb. It was his dream to light up the world. His dream was to create a light for the nighttime. I don't know. Well, it's true, but I guess that's the best way to describe it. And he never gave up on that. He never gave up on that dream, no matter how long it took him. 1001 times. That's a lot. I don't know how many years that translates to, but 1001 times, that's a lot. Yet he never gave up. Wow. And a bit more on my personal journey or my personal life is that, hey, when I was in high school, I had the dream to play in the NBA. I'm now 21, coming close to 22, and that dream is beyond me. There are 18-year-olds in the NBA right now. And it's like, wow, that could have been me at one point. But I had dreams to play in the NBA. And look, when I was coming close to the end of year 12, I started to think a bit more realistic, saying, I don't think I can do that. I don't have that level of talent to compete, even at the state level of Australia. So, let alone the NBA. But, believe it or not, the NBA dream isn't dead. But I can't, I'm like me out of players, physically unable to. But it's not dead. But the dream has evolved. So yeah, the dream has evolved to be that, hey, one day I want to interview an active NBA player and have them on this podcast. Don't give up on your dreams. That's what I can say is don't give up on your dreams. But do allow for your dreams to take on a different form if need be. You know, me, can't play NBA. It's long past it being possible, but it's all good. I still have an NBA dream of sorts. It's just very different to how I first imagined it in a way. And so there will always be times in our journeys that we'll need to go back to the drawing board. Conveniently, there's a drawing board right behind me. And improve on what didn't work so that we can make it work. And don't resent those times. Instead, welcome those times. Because the best ideas are the ones that have been tested by fire. The reason I'm excited for 2021 is because I know that the past 4 years have given me enough insight into how I can create the best version of God-given talents business plan heading into year 5. Yes, this is my 5th year and I'm still pursuing the dream and I still haven't received the result I probably first imagined, but I'm still excited. I'm still passionate for it because it's like, that's my dream. My dream is to do it full time. I'm still yet to get there, but I'll never give up. I'll never give up. Okay, this is very similar to a few episodes I did, the episode when it was just me in season 2, talking about The Office and talking about the infinite game. So on a more broader topic about, or more broader conversation about, never giving up, I encourage you to watch that episode. I'll make sure I link it in both in the audio form and the video form. But yeah, I'm excited. I just want to say I'm excited. And part of the rebrand is, yes, part of this new business plan. And so, yeah, I don't know what more to say, is that I'm excited. I'll end with this. And this is important. This is the best way I can summarize. Don't expect the desired results in year one. Or, for the matter of fact, don't even expect them in year two. Go back to the drawing board as regularly as you need to. Prepare to play the long game, or as Simon Sinek loves to call it, the infinite game. And whatever you do, don't give up on your dreams. I haven't. They're much different than when I first started, but I haven't given up on my dreams. So don't do it. And please make sure your version of success and dreams isn't making money, because those are dreams that are very easy to give up on. So make it a bit more, something about your passion. Pursue that, but never give up on it. So yeah, look, that's all I got to say. And I'm excited for this new year. I know that we're already up to March, but I don't have to wait to the very start of the calendar year to make some important changes. It's like, whenever it's necessary, make those changes. Go back to the drawing board as necessary as possible. And in some way, do it the way I've been doing it. I'm doing it right now, is that I know what changes I want to make, and I've known these changes since January, but I've just been building up to them to do it well and not rush things. So that's another little quick point. Don't rush changes. I know I'm not for this year. So yeah, this has been a very short episode of the Make Mondays Interesting podcast, but a very important one in my opinion. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Please, if you're watching the YouTube video, subscribe to it, because I'll still have the rebranded episodes posted to that. Make sure you're following us on any of the podcasting apps like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, so that when we do rebrand and when we do release new episodes, you can tune into them without having to go to a completely new channel or network, whatever you want to call it. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, share it, do whatever, engage with it. Because as I've said, and this is probably the second last time I'll say it, is that the more you engage means the more people we can reach. And the more people we can reach means the more Mondays we can make interesting. And even though it won't be called Make Mondays Interesting in the future, I still want to reach as many people as possible so that they are inspired by what is said on this podcast. So I'm your host, Denzel Gaga. This has been a God-Given Talent production. We've been brought to you by Pavilion Accountants. And all I can end with is thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great week. See you next week for the series finale. And it's going to be a good one. Peace out.